morning, good 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 morning. Wow, thank you so much for joining the call this morning. Hold on one second. We've got a few people that we're trying to get in here real quickly. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, folks, we got a great call lined up. Thank you so much for being here. Let me get over here on this screen. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, today we got a great call lined up. Anticipating this gentleman to bring the thunder, the lightning, the heat, drop the mic, pick back up, and throw it at everybody. But anyway, God, we got all these people trying. Hey, I just want to give you a couple things real quickly. If you don't, we're not letting people in unless you update your information on your phone to get in here, because you have a lot of people kind of coming in and interrupting. So make sure that you update your phone so we can get you into the call. All right, real important, real important, real important. Okay. Tonight at 6 o'clock p.m., Al's Happy Hour, And tonight's subject tonight is going to be 15 lessons the rich teach their children. Yeah, and you don't want to miss this. And we're going to be on here promptly, get on here a little few minutes early. As I always tell leaders, get on here at least 5 to 10 minutes early. That way your organization see you on here, they know exactly. It's worse than they get on here and you're not on here. So as a leader, get on here 10 minutes early and listen to the music, whatever. But tonight is 15 lessons the rich teach their children. Oh, my Lord. I know, well, I don't have to kill them, Mr. Thomas. Well, that's all right. I have grandkids, but you don't. Or you can teach your organization. This is very powerful tonight, and you definitely don't want to miss it. Miss Joyce, I was trying to get in here. Hey, I'd like to also, tomorrow night, like I said, tonight at 6 o'clock, tomorrow night, Saturday, I'm going to do leadership. It's a Q&A about MLM, a Q&A, question and answer about MLM on Saturday at 6. And then Sunday at 6, Rose Guerrero, Regional Director, Mr. Chris King, will be doing a product training this coming Sunday at 6. Okay. So 6 tonight, 6 on Saturday, and 6 on Sunday. Mr. Edmund Smith, good seeing you on the call today, sir. Miss Kyoko out in Japan, thank you so much for joining us. Mr. Frank Bowman, thank you for joining us. Mr. Jordan Say up there in Nashville, thank you so much. Mr. Pinon, good, sir, I like your hat. Nice, nice. Regional Director out there, Miss Natasha Ismail, thank you so much for joining us. Miss Robinson from the Bakery Organization, good morning. Miss Belinda Batiste, hey dear, how you doing? Miss Castro down there in Phoenix, Arizona, thank you so much for joining us. Miss Marcia Carter in Fresno, thank you, dear. Miss Caroline Baker, as part of the Bakery Organization, thank you for joining us. Mr. Devon Templeton up there in not Nashville, but Memphis, thank you, sir. Miss Harris, Mr. Harris Mills in Fresno, thank you so much. And Mr. Swallow up there in Sacramento, California. Thank you for joining us. Well, folks, we're about ready to get into it. Let me introduce this young man. He hails from Las Vegas. He's got started in the business many years ago. He's also a dear personal friend of mine. And he has he's growing his organization big time up in Detroit area, Las Vegas area, and several other states, and I think a couple countries. He's also known as the Bakery. That's right. He's all over the internet with his food. All over the internet with his food. So you guys, welcome to the call. He was here last Friday with us. This is his second Friday in a row. And without further ado, the great regional director, Mr. Brian Baker.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Glad to be here. So what I want to do is I want to give it back to Mr. Al Thomas for putting this in place. You know, every single week, countlessly, relentlessly, over a career committing to doing something kind of reminds me of Floyd Mayweather. I really like the fact that he committed, years of his life to become the best. And I believe that Mr. Thomas has done the same, and also to empower other people shows a tremendous amount about who he is and what his character is. What I want to talk about today is perseverance, because I believe that it takes that. You got to have perseverance in order to endure anything longevity-wise. And I want to start out talking about one of my favorite Hollywood figures, Kevin Hart. I really like Kevin Hart because of what he stands for. See, Kevin Hart worked on his craft for 18 years. And when he got his big break, everyone thought he was an overnight success. But that's not what happened. See, Kevin said that he paid attention to all the people around him, to the good things that they did, and also to the things that maybe they shouldn't have done, because he believed that all of those things would be able to aid him in building his career. He came from nothing. He was raised in a single parent home in a rundown part of Chicago. And everyone thinks that, finally he made it, that, he was overnight. But in fact, he worked at comedy clubs everywhere. He used to do live shows in front of 2 or 3 people in attendance. So imagine that guy, those big old crowds of millions of people filling out arenas, started off doing shows with 2 or 3 people in attendance. And sometimes he did it for free, but he just wanted to win so bad that he continued to persevere. He couldn't afford to pay his bills while he was doing comedy. Think about that. That kind of relates to this business or being a business owner. So this guy who we know as Kevin Hart, he was doing comedy like he is now, but there was a time where he couldn't pay his bills off of it. And now he's a multimillionaire. He said that there was a time where he wanted to, he was doing shows and he couldn't pay his bill, and he had to call his mom and ask his mom for help. Imagine that. This guy right now, Kevin Hart, had to call his mother. And his mom said, Kevin, read your Bible, and then we can talk about the rent. And he was frustrated. He said, Mom, I really don't have time to look at the bills. These people are going to evict me in a month. And so he left to go off to try to do things on his own, but he couldn't do it. He reached out to her again a second time. Mom, listen, it's half of the month is gone. I got 2 weeks and they're going to evict me. His mom said back to him again, Kevin, read your Bible and then we can talk about the money. He was stuck in his ways. So he went out, he did a couple more shows. They were underpaying him as always. He tried to figure out, but he couldn't. There was the 30th day of the month. He goes to his mom's house. He said, Mom, I need you to do me a favor. I'm telling you, today's the last day. They're going to evict me at the end of today. And his mom said, Kevin, I've been telling you for the last almost month that you've been complaining to me to go read your Bible. And he's like, you don't get it, Mom. Today's the last day. She goes, Kevin, if it's the last day, go read your Bible. He just leaves the house. He left, went home. He's sitting at his house and he's like, man, let me just read the Bible because I'm tired of going back and forth. She's the only person that he could depend on. And he opened up his Bible. Guess what? When he opened up his Bible, 6 rent checks fell out of his Bible. 6 rent checks fell out of his Bible that his mom had already put in there. And when he opened it up, he called his mom and he said, Mom, I'm sorry for not listening to you. So the moral to the story is always listen to your mama. So let's get into the training. All right. First of all, I want to congratulate and recognize each of you for making a decision to go against the grain, okay? To ignore critics, cynics, and naysayers, to do the opposite of everything that we were taught our entire lives, starting with school and not excluding our parents. Okay, so what did our parents tell us and what do we learn? We learned things like go to school. We all know that. They told us to go to school, right? What else did they tell us? They told us to pay attention. Pay attention in school and pay attention to your surroundings. They also told us to do as we're told. They said what? Do as you're told, right? They said get good grades, go to college, and then do all those things so you can get a good job. That's what we were taught. And so now we're going against grains. So since the beginning of time, millions of people have done that. And the question is this, when is the last time that you heard of a success story that you admired, somebody that you looked at that didn't have to persevere through something, that didn't have to go through something, that was not challenged, that didn't face adversity, the same like we do in this business, to reach the pinnacle of anything, and for them to say, the reason that I'm where I am in my life is because I went to school, because I paid attention, because I did as I was told, because I went to college, and because I got a good job. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with all those things, but the stories that we follow, that we all look up to, most people, they go against the grain, they do the opposite. So congratulations for falling into that category. With that being said, Nothing worth having comes easy. And this will be one of the most painful yet fulfilling experiences a person could ever be fortunate enough to have as their journey. And the reason is that is because everything that we have to go through from the beginning of being in front of the information. Don't you all remember when you were at your first event or your friend called you? Some of you maybe responded right away because you were automatically looking for something. Some of you might have been reluctant, but either way, you heard the information. You got invited out. And when you got invited out, I want you to think back to where you were in your life when you got invited to look at the information, who you were. Many of us didn't know that this was something that we would ever do. Some of us had already done something like this before. And then others were just ambitious, looking for something to test us because we knew that we wanted more and we were up for the challenge. So while you're up for the challenge and while you're facing these things, what happened? You got started in the business. But when you got started, I'm sure everything didn't go as planned. You know, you had to fill out your application, spend that money, and many people had to go home and talk to their spouse that they had started a business today. And so what happens when you do that? That's the first part of your journey right there. It's already started for you. Going out, talking to people that you love, explaining to them, hey, listen, I started something that I'm really excited about. It's going to change my life. I want to share it with you. Does everybody remember that? You guys remember that? And when you had that conversation with them, you immediately started having to, that's where perseverance began. That's where you started to have your breakthroughs, because the challenges start immediately when you start pursuing your dreams. Isn't that weird? Isn't that just different? You would think that the moment you say it, you declare that you want to chase your dreams, that you want to become something, you would think that the world would open up. At least for you in your mind, while you're making that decision to become more, that's what happens. You start to feel like you're ready to fight through some things. You feel like, okay, I'm ready to do this. All those dreams start popping in your head, all those things that you had given up on, the life that you told yourself you wanted. In a matter of a presentation, a Saturday training, a conference call, all those things start to come back to you right then. You have all these emotions, and then you go out to go share it with somebody, to share it with some people maybe, and then what happens? You start to face your adversity. And that's the beginning of your breakthrough. That's the beginning of your personal growth. So then what do we got to do? We start to attach ourselves to people who have done it before. We start to get in environments that are telling us that we deserve to win, that there's more, and then there's training. Well, guess what? Now there's more adversity, because now you got to make it to training. Now you have to find time out of your life that you already created to go out and change your life. And what does that require? That means that people that you normally spend time with, you have to sacrifice the time. Maybe some hobbies that you had, you might have to sacrifice some of those. Maybe your favorite show. Maybe on this specific day, you did these things at that certain time. And here we are in this business saying, hey, we got an event this day at this time. And guess what happens? Well, now you got to make a decision. And so many of you right now clearly have made that decision, and you continuously make that decision over and over again from then. So you are already succeeding. See, I want you to know that no matter where you are in the business, the moment you made the decision to fill out that application, to say that you wanted more, the moment that you got on your first conference call and continue to schedule that in your appointment, the moment that you decide to schedule Saturday trainings and go to those, the moment that you decided to get to conventions, the moment you decided to be a part of leadership, the moment that you decided to do personal development, all those things are a part of your journey. That already separates you from 99% of the population, because most people aren't willing to do those things. And so that is a part of your perseverance. So congratulations. See, anybody who goes through anything worthwhile to get somewhere is going to have to go through something, and you're going through something. And that's why you at conventions, you'll hear SVPs, RVPs, anyone speaking from the stage, they'll talk about paying a price. Won't they? They will talk about paying a price. They will talk about going through things. Write this down. Anything that you get that requires a membership means you still have to be a member, right? You sign up in the business, so you have a membership. You're exclusive right now. But you still have to do the work. You still have to be committed. So if you have a membership, you have to be a member. You still have to do the work. You still have to be committed. You sign up for the gym. Just because you have the membership doesn't mean you can't be committed. You still have to do the work. You still have to follow through. You still got to put time aside to go do the work. A cool thing that happens, commitment shows up everywhere in your life. Once you start, and you start to look at the things that you're committed to and the things that you're not committed to. And the crazy thing is this, people that are committed in the specific areas of their life, it starts showing up everywhere. See, Mr. Thomas, you know, he's a creature of habit. He's so committed to things that it's just second nature for him. If you recorded him every single day, every single month, you would think it was Groundhog's Day. You'd be like, didn't he just do this yesterday? He just did this exact thing. Yeah, that's just how it works. See, we have to commit to a lifetime of growth, consistency, personal inventory, self-accountability in order to fulfill each of our individual journeys, which are written in the chapters of our own lives so that we can persevere and be the example for others. See, all that means is this. When you decide to do something, example, some of you have signed up for gym memberships, just like the business, just like ACN. You treat the gym just like you treat ACN. Because when you wake up in the morning, you have a decision to make. You might get up and say, I'm going. Me, I got up, I already went to the gym. Mr. Thomas knows, you know, we talk every single day. He's like, you're at the gym? Did you go to the gym? Yeah. Hey, did you go to your walk? Are you on your walk? Yeah, I know what he's gonna do. I know exactly what he's gonna do. If someone were to tell me he went and did something else, I would think that aliens kidnapped him. I'd be like, that's not him. Remember the Men in Black when it would look like it was something, but it wasn't, I'd be like, that's not him. Put the thing up and let's make sure it's not him. Okay, we've got to study the best to have the best. We have to study those who have done it before and duplicate it, not nonchalantly, but meticulously with a ferocious attention to detail. Write this down. We've got to study what the best have done before us and duplicate it. That's just what has to happen. Not nonchalantly, but meticulously with ferocious attention to detail. Does that make sense to anybody? Is anybody picking this stuff up? Well, what type of ferocious attention to detail does it take? How much attention does it take to focus on getting what we want? That's what it means. As much attention, meticulously, as it takes for us to get what we want. Well, what if you could look out, because the world, you know, I love watching wildlife shows. You know, you watch the lions, one of my favorites. They might not catch a prey every single day, but eventually they're gonna eat. Okay, so the lion sleeps about 20 hours a day. Imagine that. The lion sleeps 20 hours a day. And they were created to do just that. Now, how does a lion, who's the king of the domain, feared by all, be feared sleeping 20 hours a day? Isn't that pretty wild? Everybody's scared of you and you sleeping 20 hours a day. You see, when God created the lion, he knew what he was doing because God doesn't make mistakes. Does he? So if he's not making mistakes and he's putting this lion to sleep for 20 hours a day, see, he needed to have balance. And with the most feared and powerful killing machine with 4 legs, he had to make sure that the lion was only up for a limited time during the day. Otherwise, everything would be thrown off, meaning there probably wouldn't be any other animals if lions were up for 20 hours and slept for 4, right? They'd just be hunting and killing all day, every day. And so think about this business. What if you sleeping for 20 hours? And I don't mean physically sleeping, I mean metaphorically sleeping, getting caught up in the things that you have to do all day. Right? Because we all have things that we have to do daily. You got to wake up, And then you start your daily habits. You have to do the things that you're getting through the life that you've already created. But then you're going to take those hours, same like the lion, right? The lion does it in 4 hours. Take the time that you need, aside from those 20 hours that are committed to the life that you have. People say, I don't have any time. Guess what? The lion is forced to sleep 20 hours a day, has no choice. And they only have 4 hours. Kind of sounds like us. See, when I say sleep, I mean that we're doing the things that we're doing because we're sleepwalking through life before we found this business. Now we have the opportunity to find something to be able to manage our time so we can have our breakthrough. On the other side of the work, on the other side of going through all the things, because now you're in a business, now you have to figure out, how do I make my schedule this? How do I tell these people that I can't go what I was doing before? See, I know that the lion is balanced because, see, every single morning when the lion wakes up about 6 a.m., maybe even earlier, the lion wakes up knowing that the hunt is on, right? So what if you started waking up saying the hunt is on? What if you took your mindsets from where it was and thinking, oh, I got to do this, like thinking all the things you got to do that you have been programmed and trained to do your entire lives. Well, now guess what? Now you get to be a lion. You don't have to be a lamb anymore. You don't have to be a sheep anymore. So the lion wakes up at 6 a.m. Imagine a lion having its prey in its sights for 4 hours starting at 6 a.m. And that lion for those 4 hours is on one single mission. Just like us. We need to find that one single mission to go focus on, no matter what it is, no matter where it is in the compensation plan. You can make the time if you commit to it. See, if you decided to be as hungry as a lion was, if you decided that you had to feed the pride, if it wasn't just about you, then you would go hunting. So when the lion wakes up, what does he do? And once that lion has that gazelle, that antelope, that giraffe, or even that elephant in his sights at 6 a.m., that whatever creature that is, imagine knowing, because they know. I watch those shows. Anybody watch those National Geographic shows? Right? So once the lion has set its sights on something, it's a wrap. All day focus. Meaning the lion is going to start stalking its prey and looking for weaknesses and angles, looking to see where the prey will become distracted, will become confused, overwhelmed, and waiting for its prey to make the mistake. See, it's just like getting your list together, making those follow-up calls. You know, you made those calls the day before, and then the next day, so this first day, no one's responding. No one's text messaged you back. No one's picking up their phone. Well, what if the lion woke up the next day and said, I'm not going to hunt because I didn't have no food yesterday. I didn't catch anything yesterday. And that's what many people fall into the category of doing. But this lion is watching, waiting, looking for to cause misfortune to its prey. But we're looking to add value to someone's life or to a customer. So we're good lions. And so this lion starts early to stalk this prey until it has ultimately reached its goal. So how many of you will actually focus all day to reach your goal? What if you decided that you were going to get one customer? How cool would that be if you started off in the morning focusing on getting that one customer, making all the calls that you had to make, getting all the no's, but not being distracted? Some people, they might get a no and then they're distracted and they give up for the day. I hear so many testimonies. There's so many success stories that happen in the company. There's so many people that get promoted. There's so many great things happening for people right now in the business. You know, I was on a conference call the other day. I heard a guy saying he got 60 points in a week. There are some people that, you know, there's a guy that got like 2,000 points or something like that. How focused is that guy? And more importantly, how many no's did he get? Think about that. How many no's does a person have to go through to get 2,000 customer points? Imagine the adversity that he faced. Imagine the scheduling, the diligence, the focus. We don't know how long he's been in the business. We don't know when he had his breakthrough. We don't know that he's an overnight success story, but we see the results. But how many of you, regardless of everyone thinking that you're an overnight success story, would be okay with it from doing the work? This is what I know. So you're gonna need some of the same intention and focus to become a senior vice president. So when you see our senior vice presidents, I want you to study them. I want you to watch them, because that is a lion right there. That is an absolute lion. That is someone who was absolutely ridiculously obsessed. It is not an accident that happens. So we look at the success stories, we see guys like Mr. Byron Nelson, right? Senior vice president. We see Mr. Al Thomas, senior vice president. We see Efren Tejada, senior vice president. We see Patrick and Michael Mazur, senior vice president. When you see the Circle of Champions, the senior vice president on stage, and then they tell you how long they've been in the business, I mean, they're not talking about their defeats, even though they have all been defeated at some time. You know, you'll hear Mr. Al Thomas, you'll hear him say, oh, I signed somebody up. I got a brand new partner. And I've heard him say several times, either, hey, this person, I got them qualified on the spot. We scheduled a meeting. We did this. He's saying the same things that we would do. So he's not saying to do something that he's not asking us to do something that he's not doing. He's like, yeah, schedule the meeting, get it scheduled right away, help them get qualified. I've even heard him say several times, oh, I'm not good at this one thing, but he does it anyway. So what's that say? And how do you place yourself on the other side? So since the beginning of when you're getting started, the same like a lion, the same like every senior vice president, we've been facing adversity, every single one of us. But guess what? You're here today. So that means you made it past yesterday and you're here today. That's another breakthrough. So instead of just being here today, be here today with purpose tomorrow. So today have purpose, tomorrow have purpose. That's how you have breakthroughs. Well, how do you win? Have a good day starting today. It starts with one single day. That's how you win. And then you do it again tomorrow. Pretty soon, you do it for a whole week and you've had a good week. Imagine really not taking for granted and being consciously aware of the breakthroughs that you have for the week. And doing that for a month. And then doing it for a year. Imagine your business and what your life would look like as a result of being focused, of knowing that you were going to go through these things, knowing that you were going to face difficulty, knowing that there are going to be walls and mountains that you were going to have to walk over, break through, or build, but realizing that on the other side of it was the reward. For the day, the reward could be a customer. It could be a new business partner. It could be somebody qualified. It could be someone else's promotion. It could be your promotion. It could be learning the compensation plan or having a better understanding of it. It could be training yourself on one of the services that we offer. It could be any of those things. But as long as you continue to do these things every single day over time, over a period of time, is going to add up. And that's how every single person that has won in this business have ever won. That's how anyone who has ever won in life or been successful at anything, whether it be a successful relationship, whether it be a success being a parent, whether it being anything, they had to start somewhere and they had to continue and have their breakthroughs over a period of time. And that's how we arrive somewhere. So as we close out the call, focus on all those things. Just remind yourself that, number one, you've already been through a lot. You've already changed your mindset just by being here this morning. You've already selected yourself. You've already nominated yourself to be the person to do this, to get on the call, to listen, to take notes every single day, to be consistent, There are people who are committed. I see different names in different countries that are not even in Mr. Thomas's organization, but they're committed because they're waiting on their breakthrough, and they know that they have to put themselves in the middle of the work and in the middle of the information, and then in the middle of their habits, followed with their actions. And that's all it is. Over a period of time, it will add up. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is 9:30 on the dot. That is my time. And I'm going to pass it back to Mr. Al Thomas. Thank you so much for having me a guest speaker, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Brian Baker. Topic was perseverance. Hey, folks, I want to thank everybody on the call today. Can we give Mr. Brian Baker a hand there for delivering a message today? Thank you so much. All right. We want to thank everybody. Don't forget tonight at 6 o'clock, Al's Happy Hour. Don't miss it. The 15 lessons the rich teach their children. You say, Mr. Thomas, I'm not rich. I know, but get the lesson. See, that's important, the lesson. Listen, Linda, get the lesson, Linda. Tonight at 6 o'clock p.m. Tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, I'm gonna do a leadership. It's gonna be Q&A on about MLM, and Sunday night, Regional Director Chris King and Ms. Rose Guerrero will be doing a training on a product. So with that said, we'll see everybody back tonight at 6 o'clock with your favorite libation in your hand at 6 o'clock for Al's Happy Hour, and you definitely don't want to miss this one. How many of you guys enjoyed last Friday night, the travel deal we did? Just travel. The word was travel. Took y'all around the world on the trip. Hey, listen, thank you so much. One more time, give Mr. Baker a hand. Thank you. And we'll see everybody tonight at 6 o'clock p.m. God bless, and go get some IBOs and customers. Thank you. Bye.